What's that sound? It's for amusement only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast. Welcome back to For Amusement Only. This is Nick Baldridge and...
Ava.
Hey Ava, how's it going?
Good. You know how it's been going.
Well, again, we have to tell the people who are listening. So, Ava, what did we do tonight?
Tonight we figured out the problem that was because the lights weren't lighting on the playfield, but we fixed it.
Yep. And how did we do that?
And a
well,
fuse.
You jumped right to the end. So what was the problem?
That the lights weren't working.
Right. And how did we fix it? We did a bunch of stuff, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the first thing that I did when we came down here tonight?
You read the schematic. You taught me how to read a schematic.
Right. And why is that important?
So you know what color the wire is, so you can find it easier.
It shows you how they're connected together.
Connected.
Right. Remember how I said it was like a map to the wires inside the machine?
Shows you it's like a big map of the world.
Yes.
Well, it's as big as the world. The map of the world.
Not quite. So this schematic is pretty small, actually.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. Compared to one of the bingos, like double up stretches across like 5 or 6 machines.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's huge.
Seriously?
Yeah, double up is
one.
big.
So does it over ticker double up bounty make a detail?
Yeah. All right. So Ava.
Okay.
What do you think you learned about reading schematics tonight?
I really liked it because my dad played this game asked me numbers 48, and that would be green black.
Okay, and what do the two colors mean?
So it's a body color and a tracer color.
So what was your favorite thing that you did tonight?
I liked testing the fuses.
And what did we use to test the fuses?
The digital thing?
The meter.
The meter.
Yeah. And when we tested the fuses, what sound did it make?
A beeping sound.
Yeah. Is a beep good? Or yeah. Is a beep good or bad?
It's a good sign.
Okay.
It shows that energy is going through it.
Electricity can conduct.
Electricity.
Right? Electricity can flow. So that's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we were trying to fix the lights on the playfield, and you mentioned earlier that there was a fuse, so what was the issue with the fuse?
The issue was that it wasn't lighting up the A bumper.
That was a different issue.
Huh?
Yeah, that was after we got the rest of the lights working. But the lights wouldn't work because the fuse holder is bad.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
Right. And I didn't tell you this earlier, but one thing about these Bally games, the bingos, the horse race games, and their flipper games, they use these really terrible fuse holders.
Why?
They were cheap. They didn't cost
Who
them.
cares if they're cheap?
Well, that was Gottlieb's
Invention.
mode of operation. They said, who cares if it's cheap? It needs to last, right? It needs to work. Bally's was, this will work for now. And
but
it's
not
cheap.
for long.
Well, that's the problem. So they did a lot of interesting stuff, like they made a lot of their own parts, and fuse holders were one of the things
That's
they made.
weird. Why did they do that on their own without, specific help?
Well, if you think about it, if they had to go to another company and say, sell me a whole bunch of fuse holders, because remember, they built hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of these things, right?
Millions.
Probably not that many.
Billions.
No, I wouldn't say.
Trillions.
Okay. There were a
Okay,
few.
Google.
What, we're going to settle this with a Google? All right. But yeah, if they had to go to another company to buy them, that costs a lot of money, because the other company is going to charge more than it costs to make
Just so
them.
you know, Google is a one with 100 zeros behind it.
And That's Ava's tip of the day. So that costs them more than if they made it themselves, if they had to go to somewhere else to buy them. So,
but if they still made them themselves, they would still have a lot more work on their hands.
Correct.
And
there's a big trade-off there.
And they'd still have to do pinball machines, but not as
and manufacture parts. Right. So they would have to have a separate place to make the parts and then use them to make the pinball machines. But the problem is they didn't build them to last, these fuse holders.
Why?
Because it was cheaper.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in most of these Bally games, you'll find at least one bad fuse holder. And what you should do is replace all the fuse holders.
So you should go somewhere and get all these fuses?
Well, we have new fuses in there, but we need to install new fuse holders, the things that actually hold the fuses.
Right.
So was it cool seeing the lights light up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I have never, ever worked on lights.
Yeah.
Except for the one
Except
time.
last time. So.
And except for the time before that.
What did we find?
We found out that the A bumper wasn't on. The light blew out.
Yep. And so we had to do what?
We had to take off the cap, and then we had to get a new light bulb.
Mm-hmm. So, now that you've seen how to move around the schematic, are you ready to help me with other games when they have problems?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's part of my happy dance. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, they can't see it. So,
oh, come on.
What was the really important safety thing I told you?
When it's on, never in the playfield, the inside of it, if it's out while it's on, never touch wires.
What kind of wires specifically?
The volt wires, like 115.
Right. And how do you know that they're 115 volt wires instead?
You can see on the schematic.
You can, but there's another way you can see too.
How?
They're coated in plastic instead of in cloth.
Yeah, like the one back there.
Right. The one we were looking at on the anti-cheat relay?
And you had to take the plastic off for a minute.
That was a shield that shielded the tabs. Remember? Alright. We still have a little more plastic cleaning. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And then we should be able to print off some score and instruction cards and clean off some of the paint that they repainted it with.
And cut and replace the dirty old paper. The
score and instruction cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
We're gonna type it, print it, cut it, put it on. Okay, that's 4 steps. I thought that was only 3.
We have to scan it too.
Scanner. 5 steps.
All right. Well, thanks, Ava.
Thank you.
All right, good night.
Good night. Thank you for being on my show, not my dad's.
No problem.
And that's all for tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. My name again is Nick Baldridge. You can reach me at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me on the Bingos line. That's 724-BINGOS1, 724-246-4671. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Casts, via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter at Bingo Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, also at Bingo Podcast, or you can listen to us on our website, which is foramusementonly.libsyn.com, at which, at this very moment, you can buy your very own t-shirt. Hooray! Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.